The dating market's tough. I mean, I know seems like it's dang near impossible to even get some good matches, dating apps to even get women interested in you, to go out on a date, to get the second date. It's tough, man. And I think it's more competitive than ever right now. Dating in 2025 is harder than it's ever been. And that's because of social media. It's because of a lot of different things, but social media with Instagram and TikTok and the dating apps has really exacerbated the level of difficulty with dating. And women have a ton of leverage these days. Now, women also have unrealistic standards. A lot of them. A lot of women out here in 2025 have unrealistic standards because they are seeing on their Instagram feed all these people they follow, all these celebrities, influencers, and all the matches that they get in the dating apps. So if you are an average guy today, it is very, very difficult. I mean, it's tough. I get that it's tough, okay? It couldn't be harder for guys dating if you're just an average guy, barely getting by with your finances. You're maybe not really in the best job. You're not super happy. You're overweight. Mindset's poor. No sense of clear direction on where you're going. Like, that's a tough spot to be in. And we'll just call a spade for a spade. You are in a disadvantageous position. I think I said that right. If you're just an average dude, okay? But overall, I would say the vast majority of the women out here do have unrealistic standards for dating. It's like 6 feet, 6+ inches, 6 figures, right? All this stuff, right? It seems like in their mind, they have an idea of exactly what they want. And they think they have a lot more options than they actually do. And they start to get out here and dating. And then next thing you know, you see these women that are, 30, 32, 33 years old. And they still haven't found the right person yet, because probably a part of that is because they have unrealistic standards. Now, I think there is a little bit of a hype to the unrealistic standards in the dating market. There are definitely a lot of women out here who have unrealistic standards, and they inflate their value. They think that they're actually worth more than they are in terms of their attraction and what value they actually bring to the table, right? But there still are a good bit of women out here that are decent women, and you just have to have your shit together. You don't have to be, making hundreds of $1,000s a year, millions of dollars a year, and looking like a cover model and, all this kind of stuff. What I struggled with for years was setting unrealistic expectations for myself and then beating myself up about it, because I'm like, well, I'm not making enough money. I don't have a nice enough car, all this kind of stuff. I'm not further along in my career. And while you should be continuously getting after it in life, you should be chasing after excellence and leveling up. Don't focus on delusional expectations that women have, okay? Because obsessing over those with these unreasonable demands that you put on yourself, it wastes time and energy. What you want to do is focus on a more compatible woman for you. Someone that's more down to earth. Like, bro, these women out here that are wanting you to be like a entrepreneur and driving this crazy car and making, several $100,000 a year and all this stuff, man. I mean, is that really the kind of woman you want to be with? No, it's not. Like, you should be providing safety for a woman. You should be providing stability, and you should have confidence. You got to work on your confidence, and you should be getting after it in your life, but you shouldn't try to compare yourself to all these people who look like they're absolutely just dominating in life, because for a lot of you guys, that may not be achievable. It may not be realistic. And I'm just going to shoot you straight here. You should always have high standards for yourself. You should always be getting after it. But I don't want you to like think that you have to have this, like, that you have to align with the percentage of women who have these delusional expectations of what, you know, you should be. If you are putting in the work on yourself and you're working on improving yourself constantly, you will find the right person. There are down-to-earth women out here. That's the kind of woman you want to be with. And I know a lot of you guys get disappointed in dating. It's happened to me before. I still get rejected. It's just a part of it. At the end of the day, dating is just, it's really just a numbers game. But I know that both men and women, we all experience heartbreak and rejection, right? And I think a lot of times some people set the bar too high. You know, men and women have this unrealistic bar of expectations. Every time you get heartbroken, the bar continues to raise, right? Which you should be protective of your time and energy and who it goes to, and you should be selective, okay? But there comes a point where, you know, it becomes too high to where it's almost like a protective mechanism that you're setting up for yourself, right? Like setting up this bar just to not get hurt. It's like a protective front rather than an actual true reflection of expectations, of realistic expectations. Does that make sense, right? Now, the relationship power dynamics shift. The balance of power in relationships is something that I think ultimately it really should be more on a level playing field. Okay? You want to be with someone who you feel like is bringing stuff to the table that you can't bring to yourself, that you can't provide to yourself, right? Like, let me give you an example, right? I know Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit, he talks about how women deserve less, and he talks about how they're more privileged and all this kind of stuff. And I don't necessarily agree with his stance on this, because there really should be more of a balance in the relationship. Like, for example, for the nuclear family, right? You know, having a wife, having kids, building a family, the husband provides, the wife takes care of the children and, you know, nurtures the home, builds a nice home environment, you know, things of this nature, right? It's okay for the woman and the man to both contribute in their own right. Like, if the man wants to provide financially and the woman is taking care of the kids and cooking and all this kind of stuff, of more of a traditional, more of a trad kind of wife, that's okay. But you know what's also okay? It's also okay if maybe for a period of time the woman is maybe making more than the guy, but you know, it's a partnership. That's the thing. So the relationship power dynamics, it doesn't have to just be one-sided. And I think, you know, I've seen marriages in the past where the dad was the breadwinner for a while and the mom made a little bit less, while they flipped roles, and then the mom started making more and the dad was making less as he was finishing his degree, and they've been together for over 20 years. So, and that's definitely the minority, but I don't think there should be any kind of power trip in a relationship. I don't think that men are better than women. We're just different, and we bring different things to the table, right? So I think that that's probably the best way to look at it. Another thing too is I really think that hypergamy and today, of what a lot of guys have been taught and kind of what's been out there in the red pill space, I think a lot of it's misunderstood, right? The thing is most, and don't let other people brainwash you, I think most women aren't seeking extreme status or perfection, okay? Like, what matters the most is being competent, having confidence, being able to take personal responsibility, and being a protector and things of this nature, right? Like, actually having the ability to handle challenges in life and push through hardships. When you have an obstacle in your life, are you able to get through it and overcome it? It's being emotionally healthy, being able to have good communication, being able to communicate in a healthy way, having good emotional control, right? And yes, it is a tough competitive dating market, right? I understand women have a ton of options, but that doesn't mean that she's every single woman has this extreme hypergamous nature. Do all women have a bit of hypergamy? Yes, they do. But you want to try and steer clear from the women who are showing signs of an extreme hypergamous nature. What does that mean? That means that she's always wanting to be with her best option. Like with money and everything, dude, like that's always going to be a disappointment to her because she's going to find someone else. So yes, women do want to make sure that they're with the best option they think that they're getting, but women view this from a holistic perspective, okay? From a genetic standpoint, also from the drive of the man. Is he a protector, provider? Is he, emotionally healthy and doesn't, all this kind of stuff. This is stuff that the women factor in. So it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect or have this extravagant lifestyle, even though you should always be getting after it. But you can just find yourself a nice young woman who is down to earth and you take care of her and yourself. That's okay. That's fine. Also, tying this together, I encourage you to always be tracking your progress. Like if you're getting after it in the gym, right? Track your progress with pictures every single month, front, back, and side. Track your finances. Track your spending habits. Manage your finances properly. Manage your body. Use a journal to journal your thoughts for your mental health. And I think it's also very therapeutic. It gets you very clear on your life and the direction and where you're heading. But you don't want to just wing life. You can't just wing it. You have to plan and track everything because that's what we want to do, man. We want to be constantly improving ourselves. But I understand, though. I get it. Like a lot of women have this unrealistic expectation of what they want. And then that's why so many of these women out here are single, because they think they just have so many options. And the truth is, if they look at it from a holistic perspective, there comes a point in their age and their life experience where they realize, oh, well, maybe I'm going to have to kind of settle in one area, right? Because they're not going to be able to get every single thing that they want. But at the end of the day, all you can do is focus on yourself. Stay away from the women who have an extremely hypergamous nature, because you're never going to be enough for them. That's the truth. They're always going to be looking for the next big thing, and whatever you do is never going to be enough for them. You're better off finding a woman who is more down to earth, and she works, you work, or maybe you work and she has more of a traditional role. It's fine. You want to be with a woman who is grateful, that she's respectful, and a woman who appreciates you for who you are. Now, I've posted videos in the past, like some kind of red pill-esque sort of like game type of stuff, but I've kind of shifted my views in a lot of ways, and I've come to find that when you're dating these women, you just have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. And when you are building a life that you're proud of, when you're a man on a mission, when you are chasing after excellence in your life, all these different things are gonna naturally be a byproduct. Like you're gonna naturally have less time. You're naturally going to have more of an abundant mindset. I know even now, I'm talking to a handful of women right now. I'm just kind of vetting them out, seeing what happens, and I'm really busy. The only time I go on dates would be a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That's it. I don't typically go on dates unless it's, like during a workout or something. Like, for example, this girl I'm talking to right now, not going to be able to see her for a couple weeks, so I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Well, I'm actually going to do yoga tonight, so I was like, hey, do you want to join me for yoga tonight at 7:30? And she was, so we'll see what happens. Literally just hit her up earlier about that. But, you got to kind of let it flow and work for your lifestyle, right? We're not bending over backwards for these women out here, but you should be yourself, man. You should be yourself. There's so many guys out here trying to teach you to do certain things and pick up and all this stuff. And it's just false. You're basically not living in alignment with who you are. And it's not something that you can really maintain or sustain long term, right? You want to be yourself. You want to be your authentic self. It doesn't matter how you are. Yeah, there's probably some areas that you need to tweak and work on, okay? But to the core, you should be yourself, because then you're going to attract the right woman for you. And that's what I've learned. I used to struggle for a while, not with hooking up with women, but just being able to open myself up and let a woman in, the right woman, at least being open to letting the right woman in. And I struggled because I was like hardcore red pilled and, very closed off in that regard. And sometimes I would try to be a little bit more stoic, but women need to connect emotionally. So you're never going to be able to have anything truly fulfilling with a woman if you cannot stimulate her emotionally. If you're super cold and closed off and super stoic all the time, I mean, you're not going to really be able to get her, man, because that's not how women are. They're not attracted in that way long term, getting attached to you like that. It's through experiences. It's through her going through the full range of emotions, taking her on an adventure. And yeah, not to sound all like whatever, but I mean, that's the reality. You're going to have to loosen up a little bit. And that's something that I've been thinking about lately. But you want to have, good quality relationships, like sophisticated relationships. I mean, I think, anyway, I'm starting to ramble now, but hopefully that helps you guys. I know that women out here, a lot of them have unrealistic expectations, but there are definitely, the right women out here that don't. And those are the kind of women that you want to focus on. The ones who actually show you a high level of interest. Okay. And look, if you're not getting any matches right now, if you are really struggling with women with the dating market, shoot me an email, bro. Like, let's set up a call. I do video calls. Also, if you want to help with anything else, like your fitness, 1 hour calls, my email is in the video description. It's also in my bio. We can set up a video call, because here's the reality, bro. If you are not getting any matches and you're not talking to any women right now and you want to, you need some help, bro. And I got you. So that's all I got for you guys today. Comment down below. Let me know how you feel about this. What has been your biggest struggle with women, and how do you feel about their standards? Do you feel like women deserve less? What's your thoughts on that? Comment down. Let me know. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm dropping videos every single day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.